Hello and welcome to DearYetunde. My name is Yetunde. On this channel, we talk about life lessons, the mistakes we've made along the way, and the journey of finding our true selves. Today, I want to talk about something that I've struggled with for the better part of my life, and that is the fear of confrontation. This fear has affected my relationship, my life, my friendships, and many other things. Speaking up has always been a struggle for me. I'd rather stay silent than confront an issue. I always thought confrontation was something that has to be aggressive and lead to a fight all the time. So I avoided it. I would rather allow people hurt my feelings than call them out on it. I believe that my avoidance of confrontation came from my lack of courage. I remember when I was in primary school, I came up with a report card once, and in the report card, my teacher had written that she's brilliant, but she refuses to answer questions in class. And this was not because I didn't know the answers. This was because I lacked the courage to stand up and say what I was thinking or how I was feeling. This followed me even to university. There was a time in my first year in the university, a question was thrown to the class by our lecturer, and I knew the answer, but nobody else was raising their hand to answer it. So I took the courage to raise my hand and answer, and I got the answer correctly. And the feeling was great. I felt empowered. I felt that courage was a great thing. But the feeling didn't last. It very quickly went away, because I remember that throughout my university days, I maybe answered questions in class twice or three times. And that bold step of answering a question gained me a friend. She's still my friend till today, and sometimes she still brings up that incident in class, that my answering that question really drew her to me. If I had gathered the courage to speak up when I needed to, maybe I would have made even more meaningful connections with people along the way. There were so many instances where I needed to speak up to clear some misconceptions or misunderstandings, but because I wanted to avoid confrontations, I didn't do it. There's a particular incident that stayed with me. So in my second year in university, I had a very good friend who had been assigned a hostel while I was assigned a separate hostel. Now, this hostel I was assigned was seen by many people as a good hostel. So sometime in our second semester, she approached me that the water in the hostel she was assigned wasn't good for her skin and she would like to stay with me. And of course, she was my friend. I allowed it. We stayed together throughout the second year, and when our third year came around, she was assigned a separate hostel from me, and she also came to stay with me again. Now, along the line, some time down the line, I found out that the hostel she was assigned, she didn't just let it go to somebody else. She actually gave it to someone else at a cost. Now, when I found this out, I wanted to bring it up and have the discussion with her to find out, why she would do something like that and not tell me. But this fear, the lack of courage I had, did not allow me speak up. Instead, I bottled it up and I started acting out. And obviously, she started seeing the attitude I was giving her, and not long after that, she moved her things to another friend's place and stayed there for the rest of our third year. Now, this issue was not a big deal. If I had brought it up, I'm sure she would have explained and told me what had happened, and our friendship would have moved along from there. But my lack of courage to bring it up meant that I had lost a friendship, because after that time, we didn't remain friends. And I believe that there have been many other instances where I should have spoken up for myself that I didn't, and I have lost certain things because of that. My fear of confrontation didn't just stop at friendship. It followed me into my marriage. At the beginning of my marriage, I lacked the skills of having proper conversations about issues that may have come up. Because I didn't train myself to confront people the proper way without conflict, I didn't know how to bring up issues with my husband. So most of the time, it will end in a fight or a disagreement, and I hated this about myself. So I had to start building the skill to confront people with good intentions and without fear of conflict. I've learned that confrontation doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to lead to a fight. We don't have to get defensive. We just need to state the facts and hear the other person. Confrontation actually can be positive. So if you're like me, someone who avoids confrontation in order to keep the peace, I want you to know something, that your voice matters. You deserve to be heard respectfully and calmly. And it's okay to speak up for yourself, not out of anger, but for the love you have for your own peace. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and I want us to grow together. If you find this video helpful, kindly like and subscribe. Also share with someone else who you feel might find it helpful.